The sound of hurried footsteps echoed through the quiet morning park. Sophia clutched her phone tightly as a man in a dark hoodie blocked her path. "Come on, sweetheart. I'm just trying to talk." She stepped back nervously. "Leave me alone." But the man moved closer. And then, "Hey!" A familiar voice cut through the cold morning air. The stranger turned just in time to see a tall man grab his wrist and shove him back hard. Jake. For a second, Sophia forgot how to breathe. Years disappeared in an instant. The stranger cursed and tried to swing at Jake, but Jake reacted fast, pushing him to the ground before other runners nearby started looking over. Realizing attention was growing, the man quickly ran away. Jake stood there, breathing heavily. Sophia stared at him in shock. "Jake?" He slowly turned around, and the moment their eyes met again after all those years, neither of them knew what to say, because some people never truly leave your heart, even when life forces them to disappear. Jake looked different now. Older, more mature. The confident businessman image was there, but the exhaustion in his eyes told a different story. Sophia's voice trembled slightly. "You really came back." Jake gave a faint smile. "I guess I did." An awkward silence followed. Not the uncomfortable kind. The dangerous kind. The kind filled with memories both people tried to bury, but never could. Sophia looked away first. "You saved me again." Jake chuckled softly. "Seems like trouble still follows you around, and you still act like a hero." Their eyes met again. This time longer, warmer, more painful. 1,000 unspoken emotions passed between them in silence. Back then, they were young, in love, certain they would fight the world together. But the world fought harder. Sophia's father had destroyed everything before it could truly begin. And Jake disappeared without explanation. At least that was what Sophia believed. Jake glanced at the engagement bracelet on Sophia's wrist. The tiny detail hit him harder than expected. His chest tightened. Sophia noticed him staring and quickly pulled her sleeve down. "It's not what you think," she said quietly. Jake forced a smile. "I didn't say anything," but inside, something already hurt. The morning wind blew softly through the trees as runners continued passing around them. Life kept moving. Yet for Jake and Sophia, time had suddenly frozen. Sophia finally broke the silence. "How long have you been back in the city?" "A few months." Her eyes widened slightly. "A few months? And you never contacted me?" Jake hesitated, because the truth was complicated. Because he had searched for her once. Because someone made sure he never reached her. And because some wounds never heal correctly. "I didn't think you wanted to see me." Sophia looked at him in disbelief. "You really thought that?" Before Jake could answer, Sophia's phone rang. The screen lit up with one name, Dad. Her expression instantly changed. Fear, pressure, stress. Jake noticed immediately. "You still afraid of him?" he asked carefully. Sophia forced a smile. "You remember how he is?" Oh, Jake remembered. Very well. Sophia's father had once looked him directly in the eye and said, "You'll never be good enough for my daughter." Back then, Jake was poor, ambitious, but poor. And in Sophia's family, money mattered more than love. Sophia rejected the call, but seconds later another message appeared. "Where are you?" Jake looked at her quietly. "He still controls your life?" Sophia laughed bitterly. Some things never change. Jake wanted to say something, wanted to tell her he regretted leaving, wanted to explain why he vanished that night years ago. But before he could, a black luxury car slowly stopped near the park entrance. Sophia's face immediately turned pale. Jake turned toward the vehicle. The driver's door opened, and a man stepped out wearing an expensive suit. Sophia whispered under her breath, "Dad." The older man's eyes locked onto Jake instantly, cold, sharp, disapproving, as if the past had just walked back into his life. For several seconds, nobody spoke. Then Sophia's father gave a slow, sarcastic smile. "Well," he said coldly, "look who came back from nowhere." Jake straightened his posture. The tension between them immediately became suffocating. Sophia could already feel disaster coming. And deep inside, Jake realized something terrifying. He hadn't escaped his past at all. It had been waiting for him this entire time. Sophia's father slowly walked closer, his expensive shoes stopping just a few feet away from Jake. Even after all these years, the man still looked at him the same way, like he was nothing, like he didn't belong anywhere near Sophia. "I warned you once," he said calmly, but every word carried pressure. "Stay away from my daughter." Sophia immediately stepped forward. "Dad, stop." But he ignored her completely. His eyes remained locked on Jake. "You disappear for years and suddenly show up again?" He gave a cold laugh. "People like you never change." Jake clenched his jaw. Normally, he could handle insults, business competitors, investors, media pressure. None of that bothered him anymore. But hearing those words again from the man who destroyed his first love, it reopened wounds he thought were dead. Sophia could feel the tension rising fast. "Dad, please. He just helped me." "And that changes what?" her father snapped. "Do you even remember what kind of family he came from?" Jake's expression darkened slightly. Sophia's father continued mercilessly. "A drunk father, a broken home, debt, scandal." He stepped closer. "You think a man can escape blood?" The words hit harder than Jake expected, because deep down, part of him still feared they were true. Jake looked directly at him. "My family has nothing to do with Sophia." "No," the older man replied coldly. "It has everything to do with her." Sophia grabbed her father's arm. "That's enough." People nearby had started staring. The atmosphere became unbearable. Jake exhaled slowly and stepped back. "You don't have to worry," he said quietly. "I'm leaving." Sophia turned toward him immediately. "Jake," but before she could stop him, Jake's phone suddenly rang. An unknown number. Jake frowned slightly. Something about the number felt familiar. He answered, "Hello?" For 2 seconds. Only heavy breathing came through the speaker. Then, "Jake? Son?" Jake froze instantly. His entire body stiffened, because it was a voice he hadn't heard in years. A voice buried deep inside painful childhood memories. His father. Sophia noticed the color drain from Jake's face. "Jake? What happened?" But Jake couldn't answer. On the other end of the call, the weak, drunken voice laughed bitterly. "You don't recognize your old man anymore?" Jake walked several steps away, instinctively. His heartbeat started rising. Flashbacks hit him violently. Broken bottles. His mother crying at night. Debt collectors pounding on the door. A little boy hiding in his room while his drunken father screamed downstairs. Jake closed his eyes tightly. "Not now. Please, not now. What do you want?" Jake asked coldly. His father coughed heavily. "I heard you became rich." Jake said nothing. "Must be nice," the man continued bitterly. "Big offices, fancy cars, while your father sleeps in cheap bars. You disappeared," Jake said sharply. "You abandoned Mom." Silence. Then, a drunken laugh. "I did what I had to do." Jake's anger instantly exploded. "No, you ran away." Sophia watched from a distance, worry growing in her eyes. Even Sophia's father noticed something was wrong. Jake lowered his voice dangerously. "How did you get my number?" "People talk," his father replied carelessly. "You're important now." Jake rubbed his forehead. He already knew where this was going. And then it came. "I need money." Of course, after years of silence. That was the first thing his father said. Jake laughed bitterly under his breath. The pain almost felt ridiculous. "You call me after all these years for money? I'm your father." "No," Jake said coldly. "A father stays." The line went silent again. For a brief second, Jake thought the conversation was over. Then his father said something that made his blood run cold. "If you won't help me, maybe your little girlfriend will." Jake's eyes widened instantly. "What?" "I met her once before," the old man slurred. "Pretty girl. Rich family too." Jake's voice became deadly calm. "You stay away from Sophia." But his father kept talking. "Maybe her family can help. I just need a little cash." Don't go near her! People in the park turned toward Jake in surprise. Sophia immediately walked closer. Yake! But Jake barely heard her, because fear had already entered his mind. Not fear for himself, fear that his ugly past was about to destroy everything again. His father laughed weakly on the phone. No matter where you go, son, he whispered drunkenly, your past always follows you. The call ended. Jake stood frozen, his breathing heavy, his hands trembling slightly. Sophia touched his arm carefully. Jake, who was that? Jake looked at her silently for several seconds, and for the first time since seeing her again, Sophia saw something terrifying in his eyes. Not anger, not sadness, shame, the kind of shame someone carries their entire life. Jake finally spoke. It's okay, I'm fine, don't worry. It's okay, I'm fine, don't worry. Sophia's face clearly showed her concern for him, and Jake quickly reassured her. After so many years of separation, it was ironic that this reunion made his heart ache. Jake's love for Sophia never faded. The flame of that love still burned brightly in his heart. Jake turned to Sophia and said, I'm sorry for making you worry about me. Thank you, my love. Their eyes met, their gazes almost bursting with the pent-up love they had been holding back for so long. A moment later, a luxury car pulled up beside the park gate, and Jake bid Sophia farewell, his heart filled with longing. Jake's love for Sophia never faded. The flame of his love still burned brightly in his heart. Jake turned to Sophia and said, I'm sorry for making you worry. Thank you, my love. Their eyes met, their gazes almost bursting with suppressed love after their long separation. A moment later, a luxury car pulled up beside the park gate. Jake bid Sophia farewell, his heart filled with longing. Will he win the heart of the girl he loves, despite her family's disapproval? Follow along to find out. If you enjoyed the channel, please give me a like and subscribe to watch the next episode. I hope we've provided you with rich English vocabulary and an interesting lesson through this story. See you in the next episode.